So thanks, guys. So pre-writing skills are the skills children need to develop before they are able to write. Young children can be adept at several basic fine motor skills. They attempt more challenging fine motor activities like pre-writing and using scissors. There are some really important precursors that need to be developed before pre-writing can begin. So one of these is developmental readiness. So things like building, stacking and putting things together that all fascinate young children. They begin to understand size and shapes, and activities that give children the opportunity to build and construct using blocks will help them to become developmentally ready to participate in activities such as drawing, cutting and stringing beads. So good posture and balance is one, and shoulder strength. So child's shoulder strength provides stable base of support for hand function, and that includes exploring activities that enhance large motor skills such as climbing, crawling and jumping. And if a child does not strengthen these core skills, then it may pose some difficulties for them when attempting the fine motor activities. Their arms and hands may be shaky and uncoordinated because they are unable to hold their shoulders steady and in alignment. The grasp, a child should be able to hold a writing tool, for example, a crayon, marker or pencil, before writing skills can develop. The grasp ought to be strong enough that the child can hold the writing tool, but flexible enough to allow the child to move the tool across a paper surface. Forearm and wrist control. So to effectively participate in fine motor activities, a child should be able to swivel their forearm so that their palm is up and then down. Bilateral hand use, using two hands together to complete an activity, is essential for successful participation in fine motor activities. And high coordination. So children need to develop strong interactions between their visual and hand skills. They need to be able to use the vision to coordinate the movement of their shoulders, elbows, wrists and fingers as they learn to use a new tool or participate in new fine motor activities. So I believe, Emily, you've got the next slide.
Indeed, I have. So obviously following on from what Nikki has said, obviously all the pre-skills that children need to kind of support them with their early writing, we obviously introduced during Little Hands. So obviously we focus on the writing readiness by implementing activities that encourage hand dominance, coordination and muscle strength. Some of the ways that we kind of do this are through right dance and do disco. So if you might be thinking, what is right dance? So if I show you the next slide, right dance is something that we kind of do across all settings. And it's an approach that we find really develops those core muscles that they need to develop early writing skills. It's a unique approach which uses music and dance to support children in responding and learning to specific movements for improved physical awareness, which in turn can enhance their gross motor skills and coordination to further develop their ability to create structure of shapes they need to be able to write individual letters. Right dance supports children in developing physical skills such as balance, coordination, flexibility and stamina. And it's something that, again, as I say, we do across all settings, but obviously I know they're really passionate about it in supporting children at Stourbridge branch. Obviously, just kind of following on from that as well, we obviously incorporate into the everyday learning activities, and something that we particularly do at the Bromsgrove branch is introduce things like yoga, just because we find that obviously you're exploring those gross motor skills, they're focusing on things such as their balance and coordination. So again, all these kinds of things that we introduce into every day really helps develop those pre-writing skills that children need to be able to eventually write. Something else that we do, again, across the branches is do disco. So if I've got a clip of what exactly do disco is, so I'm going to just have to stop sharing and then we can put that one on as well. There you go. Guys, can
The itsy bitsy spider
just click back into the. Lovely. There we go. Thank you. So obviously, as you can see from the video, Dough Disco is a fun and engaging activity which combines the use of Play-Doh with a series of hand and finger exercises designed to improve fine motor skill, and obviously that fine muscle control as well needed for the development of those early writing skills. Obviously, it focuses on things like Nikki's touched on previously with the hand-eye coordination, the gross motor dexterity, and obviously self-esteem as well. Dough Disco is an incredible way to incorporate different aspects of the curriculum, not just physical development. So obviously, I think it allows children, because obviously it's done on a in a small group scale. Obviously, they're building on their personal, their social, and emotional development as well. So it really helps support so many different aspects of the curriculum, which is why we find it's really effective to obviously utilise within all the branches as well. So, yeah. And then I think Nikki is now going to talk to us about what else, how else we can develop early writing skills.
Yeah, so early writing skills can be acquired through a variety of different ways, and quite often these are overlooked. So at Little Hands, we strive to create an ambitious and creative curriculum that is unique to each child. This includes exploring all elements of the early years foundation stage and tailoring it to stretch and challenge the children. So some examples of how we refine skills through play experiences are threading. So the guys will thread pasta onto string, beads onto string. They can use tweezers, so that the pushing motion will help build their muscles, climbing ladders, which will help their core strength, mark making using paintbrushes and pencils. And sensory play is a really good one as well, like rice playing, finger painting, because that assists the development of tactile awareness. And finger games such as Insy Wincy Spider will also help.
Perfect. And then obviously a real key one that again Nikki's going to talk to us about is why play is so important for developing those early writing skills.
So obviously play is the foundation behind pre-writing skills. As early years professionals, we know that these early years are the most important years of a child's life, and we value play for what play is. A key philosopher, Edmund Burke Huey, suggested that children need to seek out more play-based experiences rather than formal learning. And obviously, as you guys know, at Little Hands, we follow the children's lead on all play, so everything is child-led. Advocating the importance of learning through nature and allowing children to develop at their own pace, highlighting the need for experiences that promote gross motor skills and muscle strength, which are essential skills needed for writing. Big body movements like running and jumping and climbing to strengthen the core, shoulders and hands, playing and tinkering with small parts and toys to develop fine motor skills. And as you know, we have loose parts here at nursery, which helps develop that. And the coordination and strength needed to grasp a pencil, drawing and experimenting with shapes, and finally guidance from adults on how to form individual letters efficiently before writing the words and sentences. So here is a clip of how children are strengthening core muscles they need for early writing skills to be developed.
So as I say, it was a clip, but unfortunately I'm not able to share it. But as you can see, obviously the use of...
gosh.
Sorry about that, we're having a slight technical issue. As you can see, using open-ended resources such as things like the litter picker obviously is developing those core muscles. Again, they can just be used in everyday learning opportunities to try and strengthen those as well. But yeah, no, don't worry. The child in question obviously is demonstrating perfectly how she is picking something up, but again, still introducing those key skills as well. And then next we have early writing expectations. Are you all right to do that, Nikki?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sorry. So there are a lot of preconceptions about what is expected of a child in relation to writing. So it's commonly forgotten that children need to be able to draw and identify shapes before they are able to write their name. And also, as you can see on the slide, there is an x-ray of a small child's hand next to an x-ray of an older child's hand. And as you can see, the bones in the smaller child's hand haven't fully yet developed. So here at Little Hands, we do the activities which help the develop and grow. So by 1 to 2 years, the children should be able to randomly scribble and make marks. So they'll spontaneously scribble in like a vertical or horizontal or circular direction. At 2 to 3 years, they'll imitate like drawing a horizontal line. They'll imitate a vertical line and imitate a circle. By 3 to 4 years, they will copy a horizontal line, a vertical line, and copy a circle. And by 4 to 5 years, they will trace a line, copy a square, and grasp pencils in a writing position. So if you've got a 3 to 4 year old who spontaneously asks or attempts to write letters, that's great. Otherwise, there's no need to initiate or worry about this. It's literally just the pencil control that we will concentrate on here. So there is a misconception that earlier is better, because earlier is not always better. And as Emily says, like, the children here develop at their own pace, and we support that at Little Hands.
Perfect. And then finally, we've got, obviously based on all the information that we've kind of just shared with you, we've got some facts and myths about early writing skills. So please feel free, if you'd like to, if I read them out, if you think, oh yeah, I know the answer to this. If not, don't stress, because I can tell you. So the first one is 4-year-olds should be able to read fluently. Do you think that is a myth or a fact?
Definite myth, I think.
Yes, you are correct. Obviously, as we've discussed, obviously there is no expectation that a child should be able to do that. They are very much developing at their own pace as well. So the next one is finger games such as Incy Wincy Spider can contribute to the development of early writing skills. Do we think that one is a myth or a fact?
Fact.
Perfect. Yeah, as I say, as we shared in the Do Disco video, she was, I think she did it to the song of Incy Wincy as well. So obviously it's just about introducing songs that can obviously help children use actions to be able to develop those core muscles that they need for the early writing skills as well. Praise discourages your child when they engage in fine motor skills, especially if they're persistent when finding an activity difficult. Do you think that is a myth or a fact?
A myth for it to discourage them.
It is indeed. Obviously, we really thrive on using positive language with all our children, and we find that obviously the more praise we offer to them really encourages them more to kind of persist with activities. So that is a definite myth. The next one we have is hand and finger strength is highly beneficial to the development of early writing skills. Is that a myth or fact?
Fact.
That is indeed a fact. Children taking part in everyday chores such as wiping tables, pouring drinks, using a dustpan and brush, broom or mop prepares them for early writing. Is that a myth or a fact?
I'd say fact.
Yes, it definitely, obviously, as we've discussed lots of times, but obviously those everyday opportunities that they can do, such as like putting on their shoes, obviously wiping tables, they really help just develop the skills needed for early writing. And then finally, drinking from an open top cup from the age of 6 months does not support early writing skills. Do we think that is a myth or a fact?
I'd say myth for that one.
It is indeed a myth. Obviously, as I say, drinking from an open top cup, which is something that we really encourage from the age of 6 months plus, it just incorporates those skills such as hand-eye coordination, again, which all join together to help your child in preparation for early writing. So yeah, that is our presentation about early writing skills. If you do want any more information, I know there's lots of there's definitely a blog post on our website about pre-writing skills, so if you want some more info, go and have a look there, but if not, you can speak to a member of the team who can share some information with you. But yeah, that's it.
Have you guys got any questions?
Wondering what we can do to encourage him to be a bit more engaged with the process of trying.
So obviously, like we do here, like we wouldn't force the children to sit down and draw. So we encourage mark making in other ways. So like using cotton buds, using like lollipop sticks, using paintbrushes to kind of like make marks in flour, using their fingers to make marks in flour. Like any sensory play that you guys can do at home would be absolutely great. With the Play-Doh as well, the Play-Doh will help kind of like build the muscles in his finger to help with the pencil control. So if he's not got an interest in writing, he's not going to want to do it, is he? So we do obviously promote that here in different ways. So as much as you guys can do at home will be fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's helpful. Andrew, did you want to check anything else? No. Cool.
Perfect. If you do have any other questions, though, obviously, please feel free to obviously drop us an email or give us a call, and obviously we can try and support as best as possible.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for
Thanks for coming, guys. Thank you so much.
No worries. See you later.
Thanks.
Thank
See ya.
you.
Bye. Thanks, Emily.
No worries.